Up next is episode 33 with sabbatical coach Lyndall Farley from Beyond a Break. What are 2 or 3 transformational book recommendations? Doesn't have to be a book, could be any kind of artistic media, but do you have any recommendations of things that have helped you in your life?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the best book I could say for getting perspective is 4,000 Weeks by Oliver Burkeman. I think that is just an absolutely wonderful setting for anybody who's thinking of taking a break and making sure that they're living their life to the full. And then, I guess back to the question on habits. So Atomic Habits by James Clear is just one of the most powerful books around change and building the life that you want through taking small, consistent, progressive steps in the forms of habits. And then absolutely, if you want a how-to guide on taking a career break or sabbaticals, then my business partner, Katrina McGee, wrote a fantastic book called Taking a Career Break for Dummies. And I was the technical editor for it. I think it's absolutely infused with all of our wisdom and frameworks and everything that we've learnt in working with all of our clients over the years. So that's an absolutely fundamental guide for planning your break.
Okay, so the next podcast guest to give us their transformational book recommendations is from career coach Lisa Hawashi, and that was on episode 35.
One of them is, as we were just talking about with habits, I really have enjoyed the book Atomic Habits. Mm-hmm. So in just thinking about how can we build on habits that are going to help us, make meaningful progress on our goals. That one's been a great one. I would also say another book that I really have enjoyed and I continue to think about often is the book Win, W-H-E-N by Daniel Pink, which is about when is the best time for us to actually get things done. So thinking about timing for when we try to get things done, I am kind of a habits and productivity nerd. Another book that I often recommend to clients is Self-Compassion by Kristen Neff. So it's really about, how can we be more supportive of ourselves, which I think is actually a way of really helping us be more productive, right? When we can be more kind and gentle with ourselves and understanding of when we run into obstacles and to support ourselves through those moments. And just like a fun sort of inspirational book that I always enjoy reading is Endurance, which is about Shackleton's voyage to Antarctica. It's by Alfred Lansing. So that's a book that I think is just really interesting for thinking about human resilience and what we're capable of. So, and it's also a great adventure story. I love adventures.
Okay, so up next is episode number 40 with career break expert Katrina McGee.
Yeah, so I'm also notoriously bad about reading books, but I listen to a lot of podcasts. But there's a book so there's one that's more current for me. It's an old book, but it's more current. Like I've read it recently. And then there's an old school one that I read when I was actually planning my break that was very helpful in that transformation. So the first one, the current one, is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is I think he's a neuroscientist. I'm not sure. He's amazing. And some of his stuff is a little beyond my head, but it's really about the science of changing your brain and using your brain to change your reality. And he uses quantum physics and stuff to talk about it, but it's just incredible. And he also does a lot of meditations. So I love that book. I would say man, if you want to create different results, just grab that book or just even go get a meditation from him and just start thinking about using your brain in a different way to create reality instead of just more of what you've had in the past. And the other book was really pivotal for me and kind of set me down this journey was Martha Beck's Finding Your North Star. And it has a lot of prompts and things in there to ask important questions. She's a life coach. She was Oprah's life coach way back in the day. And so, she really has been around for a long, long time, kind of created this, honestly, kind of co-created, I think maybe with Tony Robbins, like this space, not that they were the only two, but they were kind of the first like big ones. And her book was really amazing. It's like having your own personal life coach ask you some questions and tell you some things about life that make life feel not so heavy and more full of possibility.
Okay, so the next one is episode number 42 with Shung Savadra from Save My Sense.
The book I like the most for my financial journey is The Millionaire Next Door. Great American book that followed frugal millionaires. Second book that really helped me understand scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset is the book Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck. Fantastic book. And then while we're talking about habits, the third book is about habit forming. It's not about financial habits, just habits in general. It's called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg.
All right, and the last one is episode number 53 with Matt, and he's from the Financial Imagineer.
Well, I think certain things have helped me before. At the moment, I really like to read the books of Jordan Grumet. So he is the doc, fire doc. He has the Earn and Invest podcast. Sorry, I mentioned another podcast. He wrote a book. The first book is called Taking Stock. Okay, the Taking Stock book is really, really cool because he was a doctor accompanying people in the last days of their lives. And what is a fulfilled life if not a life where if you come to the end of it, you have very little regrets? I would say it's impossible to have regrets or no regrets at the end of the life. There's people that take a lot of time to think will always have like, oh, what if? But at one point you have to decide and go for something, right? So this book, Taking Stock, really puts in context what really matters in life. I loved it because it has nothing to do with numbers or technical things. It's all about the mindset. And once your mindset is aligned, the other things become easy. That's what I believe. And the second book I just started to read now is The Purpose Code, to have a purpose in life. I don't know. I'm sure I will love it, but that's the second book now that I look into. And there's a fair lot of great books, like J.L. Collins wrote The Easy Path to Wealth. That's a great one to people that are on the FIRE path. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is very easily written by Mr. Kiyosaki. I think I can also recommend that. Of course, he talks a lot about debt and real estate there, but this mindset thing is quite important. So there's a lot of stuff out there that I can recommend. Mr. Money Mustache doesn't blog as much anymore as he used to, I think. The Mad Scientist podcast, I also like it a lot. Great stuff. Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Work Week, the Tools of Titans that I like, the Tribe of Mentors, which is great. Tribe of Mentors and Tools of Titans, they're kind of written like he interviewed people, and you don't have to read the book from A to C. You basically have chapters, like 4 or 5 pages about certain topics, and he interviewed people that are absolute geeks or like experts in their fields. So that's maybe something I would recommend for everyone's library at home.
Thank you for spending your time with us today. If you need more help, you can check out our free guides and services on our website, freedombeforefire.com. If you have a burning question or just want to chat, don't hesitate to drop me an email at greg@freedombeforefire.com. If you found the show useful and want to be notified of future episodes, you can click follow on Spotify, Apple, or the app you're currently using right now. If you think the episode will help a friend or a colleague, feel free to share it with them. And lastly, if you learned just one good thing that will help you in your journey and you want to help us out, please do leave a 5-star rating on your podcast player app. That would help us out loads. Alright, so that wraps up this little mini-series. I hope you learned a few pearls of wisdom from our podcast guests. feel free to listen back to their full episodes if you wanted to hear their inspiring journeys. Have a great week, and I'll catch you on the next one. And as always, practice gratitude, live life by your design, and do things that make you smile. You got this.